Hi everyone, it's Alexandra and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to go over a video that a lot of you have been anticipating and asking about for a long time, and it is all about my teacher bullet journal setup. So for my fellow teachers out there, this video is for you. Now I have to preface this by saying that this is still a work in progress. There is a lot that I haven't included yet, but because as I was trying to find inspiration for a teacher bullet journal, on Pinterest and things like that, there wasn't a lot out there dedicated specifically for teacher bullet journaling. So I've come up with spreads that I know will benefit me. And because this is still a work in progress, it's partly that way because there are just so many unknowns. I don't know how many class sections I'm teaching. They said last week I'm teaching 5th and 6th grade, and then today I get an email saying that I'm teaching 4th grade. I don't know. Either way, there's still a lot of unknowns, and I really won't find out until next week when I officially go back to work. So I plan on doing a 1-month update on this and update you guys on how it's all going, but I'm going to show you today what I've come up with. So let us begin. First things first, the one thing that I want to talk about is the notebook itself that I've chosen. It's a Loic Term 1917 dot grid notebook in the B5 size, which means it's 6.9 by 9.8 inches, and it's a soft cover notebook, and I got it in the Azure blue. This was off of Amazon. Okay, compare it to my A5 size. Okay, you can see it is larger, but it's not too big. I felt like a lot of there was a lot of discussion that teachers were using the Master Slims. That was a little too big for me. I wanted it to be light. I wanted it to be portable. Being that it's soft cover, it's not, I guess, as heavy, and it is thinner than your typical A5. It's 121 pages as opposed to 249. But for me, there are going to be a lot of recyclable spreads. So 121 pages for me will work out fine, I believe, in this case. So this is the one that I went with, and it gave me more than enough room to fit designs and things on spreads that I needed extra room. And so I found this to be the perfect size for me. So this is what I went with. Okay, let's start with the index. Like your regular A5 Loic term, there are 3 designated pages for the index here. So this is what I have so far: the school calendar, the curriculum, professional development hours, home contact log, Bloom's taxonomy, a teacher dashboard, the week at a glance, meeting notes, things my students say, daily schedule, websites, and passwords. And I added some more stuff to this, but I kept it very, very simple. Unlike my personal bullet journal, for the purposes of my teacher bullet journal, it's strictly about function. So you're not going to see the artsy doodle stuff in here. It's just, honestly, it just needs to be efficient and to just do its job. So that is what I've done here. Now, the reason why I decided to do bullet journaling for teaching this year is because, everyone has their standard grade book, which is just for attendance and grades. But with the bullet journal system and being so flexible, I can add all these extra things. I wanted this to be essentially my home base, a place where I had all my important things at a glance, whether it's a school calendar or curriculum or resources, anything that I really needed at my disposal. And that's why I decided to really experiment with the bullet journal system for teaching this year. Okay, so let's get to the key. The key is exactly the same key that I used in my personal bullet journal. Okay, as you can see, I literally copied it verbatim here. The only thing obviously are the colors that are going to be different, and once I figure out what I'm teaching, my classes are going to be color coded. So whatever is the first class of the day that I teach, there'll be the blue class, then there's the purple class, pink class, whatever, and then the green class, yellow class, so on and so forth. So that's how I'm going to color code my bullet journal. So once I figure out and know what I'm teaching, then it'll be written out here. But again, in my 1 month update, hopefully this will all be completed and squared away. And then I have my district calendar. I basically copied this from the district website, so I always have this on hand. Now, if you don't want to physically write this out, you don't have to. My suggestion would be is to put it on a shipping label, print it out on a shipping label and stick it right in. But I found that writing it helped me commit it to memory better. And as you will notice all throughout my bullet journal here, I use my zebra liner highlighters, which I have linked in my supplies. These you're going to see all throughout. I'm kind of obsessed with them. It's an understatement on how obsessed I am with these. So I use it for color coding the keys and things like that. So this is the district calendar here at a glance. Then I did like a future log. This is a modified Calendex. So basically, because I've never taught 5th or 6th grade social studies before, I needed a pacing guide with the units that the district recommends. So what I did was I color coded the units by color. And so this is my modified Calendex or future planning. So on the left-hand side is for 5th grade. On the right-hand side is for 6th grade. And this is basically a guide for me, no matter where I am in the year. It provides a guide for where I should be as far as content in each class at any particular moment of time in the year. And because I have so much space here, this is a space here for resources. I'm thinking of doing here resources that I use as far as pertaining to social studies, and then here maybe I might do ideas for differentiation in the classroom and things like that. Okay, then here I have my professional development and home contact blog. This is kind of self-explanatory, and if you were to do this, you can modify it any way that you want. In the district that I work with, you really just contact parents through the phone. A lot of parents don't have access to email, so I would just put the student and the phone number and who I contacted and so on, and then professional development hours over here with the date, the event, the description of the professional development, and how much time was put into that professional development session. Okay, then we really start incorporating color, okay, in my teacher bullet journal, and this is dealing with Bloom's taxonomy. I found a thing on Pinterest or online. I googled Bloom's taxonomy, and just as a reference, and I created a reference page here for modifying my lesson plans. This is really going to come in handy when I do modify them. I'm not going to put my lesson plans in my teacher bullet journal since I have them all on a USB drive. So this is just going to help me modify what I already have to cater to a lower grade level, since I was used to teaching in high school for all of these years. So these are going to be essential keywords and verbs that I can plug into my lesson plans with the corresponding activities to promote higher level thinking. So this is going to be very helpful for me. Sometimes you're at a loss for words writing out lesson plans, so this is really just going to help move things along in the right direction. Okay, then my teacher dashboard. I love this. For the life of me, like for so many years, and teachers, you will attest to this. God knows how many times I've written stuff down, and with the hustle and bustle of the teaching day, you forget where you wrote it, or you forgot that you even wrote it all together. Well, the problem is solved with this teacher dashboard. I plan on maybe switching these out weekly, depending on how crazy of a week it is, with things to do, students I need to see, things I have to grade, supplies I might need for a lesson or any resources, copies I need to make, calls I have to make, emails, and anything maybe that is coming up in the upcoming week. So I plan on switching these out weekly, and as you can see here, okay, I have the little squares designated underneath to earmark the Post-its and where they go. But again, with the B5 size, I mean, I'm able to do this nice spread. It gives me enough room. Everything's all nice. And this is honestly a really good size for me. I also go into a little more detail about this in my bullet journal hack video that features Post-it notes alongside this one. This is my weekly overview, and this is where my color coding really comes into play again. I mentioned in the key, I'm gonna have like a blue class, a purple pink class, a green class, a yellow class, okay? So once I find out the sections that I'm teaching, okay, that's where the class is going to go up here, and then this will all be in blue, this will all be in pink, this will all be in green, yellow, etc. And this is just going to serve as my overview, okay? Homework that I might assign. This is basically going to go off of my lesson plans, but this is just so I know what's going on, or if I have an observation, I have, and they ask to look at what we're doing, I could, pull this up. So this is another recyclable spread because I don't have to keep rewriting the weeklies over and over again, and it's not going to get redundant. So all I have to do is swap out the Post-its once the week is finished. So this is going to also save me a lot of time, okay? So this is the weekly overview at a glance. Then here I have meeting notes and things that my students say, anecdotes, silly things that they say, because believe me, after almost 10 years of teaching, some of the stuff they say you just can't make up. So I figured I would record it this year and document it. So I decided to do that. Then here, I'm gonna put in my daily schedule for the day. Maybe the second half of this I'm going to dedicate to having different office extensions for the nurse's office, the main office, things like that, guidance counselors, whatever the case may be on the bottom half here. I have yet to decide. So that's pretty much that. And then I'm going to keep a running log of all the websites and usernames and passwords to all the websites that I have access to, so that I'm not scrambling to figure out, oh, what's the password for that? I'm just gonna have it all in one place, and hopefully it'll save me a lot of aggravation. So that's going to be that. Okay, and then this is really the bulk of what my teacher bullet journal is going to consist of. I'm going to tell you right now, this was very time consuming to make the first go around. But once I figured out all the measurements, it took me about half an hour to do the second time around. But I figure if it takes me that long to do something and it's going to serve me well for the next 10 months, then in my eyes, it's worth it. Again, these are things that are tried and true for me. And so this is what I'm showing you guys. So again, the color coordinated system here is still in effect. Okay, first class would be the blue class. So this is all alternated with the blue zebra mild liner highlighter. Okay, and this is going to be like an absence log. Okay, but if you have your traditional grade book, you know how it goes. You have a section for every marking period per class. I was like, I'm not going to sit here and write 5 sections times 4 marking periods. I'm like, no. So what I decided to do was to do a vertical Dutch door, as you can see here. And I'll have the students here. The measurements in a B5, this allowed me to fit 30 students. So perfect in my eyes. And then I separated it out into the 10 months that school is in session from September to June. Now this is how I plan on, this is gonna be for absences, or attendance I should say. This is how I'm going to, my key if you will. If a student, let's say, is absent on September 20th, I would simply write the number 20 next to their name in the September box. If the student was tardy, let's say, I would put T20. Okay, he was tardy on the 20th of September. And then I would just, make a little list here. This way I have everything all at a glance for the whole entire year, okay? Now I know everything is done online these days, but I work in an inner city district where crazy things happen, and I'm telling you right now, whether you're a master teacher or just starting out, please write everything down on paper. There have been incidents with me that attendance has been wiped out, grades have been changed. I kid you not. I wish I was kidding, but I have everything written down. My cooperating teacher, when I did my student teaching 10 years ago, told me that. My professor in college, they all stress the importance of writing things down on paper. So that's what I've been doing, and it saved me a lot of aggravation. So I am going to keep my attendance, although I do log it in online in the system. I do have a copy of it here too. Then here I'm going to have, this MP is for marking period grades. I'm going to, at the end of each marking period, write down what the average was along with the final grade for the year. I am not going to mark down all the assignment grades. They will be kept in their student folders in addition to online, but I will, in the inside of the Dutch door here, I will keep a running log of what assignments I gave, split it by marking period and the date that it was given, so that if a student is absent, I know exactly what assignment they missed and I can give it to them. Or if a parent comes in, again, if I don't have access to a computer, I have everything right here and I can discuss with a parent, maybe attendance or missing assignments or whatever the case may be. So that is my plan with this. The other half of this Dutch door, I don't know what I'm doing with yet. But again, in the 1 month update, I'll hope I will ultimately have figured it out. But again, I have options, whether it's maybe students that might have IEPs, that I need to make note of, things like that. But that's what I am going to focus on, figuring out what I'm going to do with this. So this would be for one class, and then I started to do for the pink class, okay, the same thing. I have yet to do for the other sections. I want to see how many I have, but again, it's the same idea, okay? I kind of did this backwards, but yeah, same idea. Assignments given with the marking period grades, and then everything's sectioned off by month, okay? So once I figure that all out, I'm going to put in the rest of the class sections. And then in the back here, last but not least, aside from a pen test that I did with all my zebra mileliners and different kinds of pens, I did an absence log for myself. Some administrators like to argue, oh, well, you were absent on this day when you weren't or whatever. So for my own peace of mind, I'm going to have a running record of times that I was either absent or took a half day or whatever in school for my own peace of mind. And so that is pretty much what I have for now. If you are planning on doing a teacher bullet journal, I would love to know what pages you are going to include, what kinds of spreads you're going to include in your teacher bullet journal. I'm always looking for great ideas and inspiration everywhere. And please let me know if any of these spreads were helpful to you. Again, like I mentioned, there aren't a lot of resources out there for bullet journaling for teachers. So any, feedback on this would be greatly appreciated. Please give this video a thumbs up. There will be a blog post also on this that I'm going to put up if you want to check it out and read it at your own leisure. And all my supplies will be linked, including the B5 size and the highlighters and everything else that I use. And until next time, bye.